Hey everyone, it's Army Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. So I wasn't expecting to make another sneak peek video this early, but we just got some amazing information for the new monsters skill set for the exclusive Legends Pass monster as well as the next marathon monster. So we're going to be going over that primarily. So before we go into the sneak peek, I wanted to start off with the official calendar. So this is directly from SocialPoint themselves. These are the events from December 7th through the 13th. So as you can see, for Monday and Tuesday, we have the Lord Platypus and Unspeakable Pathways. And then today we have the Vault Keys Challenge, the Last Pass Breeding Event, and Forsaken Days. On Tuesday, we get the Sunblast Mini Challenge. On Wednesday, we get a Madam Fusion Mini Challenge. And on Thursday, we get a Privateer Morgan Mini Challenge. My personal opinion, I don't really think you should go for those challenges. Like, yes, you could combo a Madam Fusion with a Lindworm or Lupin or anyone that can Churn Transfer Master Masher. But even then, you really primarily would need the monster for PvP, maybe Team Wars. I don't think you really need to focus on a Madam Fusion or Sunblast or Privateer Morgan unless you're going for those book rewards. On Thursday, we also get the El Colossal Element Wars and we get the Era Royalty Duels. So I will be making a video on who I think is going to dominate the Era Royalty Duels. And spoiler alert, it's probably going to be the Wolf Pack, right? Some combination of the Wolf Pack because even though we have Lord Platypus, in the Aero Duels, you only get the unranked trait. So you wouldn't even have Anticipation unless you can go first and set up Anticipation. But even then, it could probably be cleansed or something. So I don't think, yeah, I think the Wolf Pack is going to dominate. But again, I'll do an in-depth video on that. Friday is the big day of the week. On Friday, we get the Ghost Express Marathon. We get the Erder and Seaquake Pathway. You should go for Erder. Even if you have Seaquake, I would just get Erder. The Hacksmith and Race Breedings. And the new Legends Pass Cosmic Era Season 6. The interesting thing is that the Hacksmith, the monster is going to be the Golden Legends Pass monster. So there's apparently also going to be a breeding event for him. So that's very interesting. On Saturday, it's essentially the same things, and on Sunday, the same thing. And then next week, we have information on the upcoming maze, the Fox by Day maze, which again, I think is a monster in tribute to our old community manager, Fox. But I suppose we'll know more information next week when it's actually out. So once again, that was actually official. That is the calendar for this week and next. Now, everything I'm about to talk about now is unofficial. It is not confirmed. So it's still possible that SocialPoint changes something by the time it's actually released. So with that being said, the Hacksmith event. The Hacksmith has arrived in Monster Legends and he's brought his very own event with him. You can get this top mythic from the Golden Legends Pass. So again, you purchase the $20 pass during the first week, a breeding event, or a direct offer. So apparently, you can buy the Golden Legends Pass monster in the whole pass, the way we've normally been doing it, or you can get the monster by itself. So let's say you don't want to purchase the rest of the perks of the Golden Legends Pass. It appears that you can directly get the monster. It makes me wonder how much would it cost? Is it going to be $20? Is it going to be like $15? Because if you can buy the whole entire Legends Pass for $20, like, what is a good price just for a specific monster? Maybe $10? Because if they offer $15, I think that would encourage more players just to buy the regular Golden Legends Pass. So I guess we'll see. The interesting thing here is it's going to be a breeding event. Now, this is just my opinion. This has nothing to do with SocialPoint. I don't know any extraneous information. This is just my personal opinion. But considering this monster is a Golden Legends Pass monster, direct offer monster, even though he's also going to be in a breeding event, I doubt most players are going to be able to get this monster just via breeding. You're probably going to be able to get additional cells, but you're probably not going to be able to get the monster. But again, this is just my opinion. You'll also be able to grab some extra cells at the breeding event by completing daily missions or by getting all the monsters in the Hacksmith and Friends time limited book. So anytime you complete that book, you normally get like an additional 200 cells by getting daily missions. So it appears that they're also going to include some cells in the daily missions. And let's see, the Hacksmith is a metal tank with skill mirror, life shield, and megaton skills. Oh yeah, I remember this monster. This is the one that I was saying is like, whether he's good or not is really going to depend on his traits. Because yes, he had that positive effect megaton skill, but his trait is going to matter. His stats are going to matter more than anything. And I believe he is actually out. So I will be making an analysis on him later. He has an evolving trait. At rank 0, he's hardened. At rank 1, he becomes tough. And at rank 3, he'll protect his positive effects at the start of every battle. Okay, interesting. Not a taunt monster, not a mega taunt monster. Instead, we have a status caster positive effect protection. So if you apply shield, if you apply a skill mirror specifically, that's probably the most important one because the megaton skill, that itself applies positive effect protection. So I would say just starting off at rank 3, the hardened and the tough, or the hardened that transitions into tough and positive protection, I don't think it's too crazy. So I think just going off what I remember, I think the monster is going to be not amazing overpowered. Like, I think people are really expecting a status caster megaton, so not sure why. But yeah, I think he's just going to be okay, but I will have to analyze him later. All right, so this is what I want to get into. So Let's see, we have a very merry mission, which you complete today's goals and get 2 Xmas coins and a Robo Elf. So it looks like there's going to be some sort of Christmas event where you're going to be able to exchange coins for maybe items, relics, monsters, we'll see. And then the elf, let's see, the Robo Elf cell. Alright, the Hacksmith Breeding events. You can beat 7 different monsters from the Hacksmith and Friends time limit book. There's even a small chance to get the new Cosmic Star. Oh, whoa, never mind. Okay, it looks like you apparently will be able to get the monster completely free to play just by breeding. It looks like it anyways. There's even a small chance to get the new Cosmic Star if you're lucky, right? We all know breeding events, they don't always pan out the best, but wow, that's pretty cool. So White Pandolph and Vanoss or Galante Jr. to get Flameorancer, Automatronicus, or the Hacksmith. Barbatos and Frostbite or Violet Mephisto. Cool, this one's tight because you have a chance to get Mephisto. So any legendary Megaton monster can still be used, I would say. Brutalis, Ursus, Erdicus, Captain, Copperbeard, Hopkin, and Hacksmith. If you could, I would go for this one just for a chance to get Mephisto and Hacksmith. That's pretty cool. For every successful attempt, you'll get 2 Hacksmith cells as a bonus. But if luck stabs you, you'll still get 1 cell. So whether you're successful or not, you'll still get 1 or 2 cells. But there is a chance to actually get the Hacksmith. So it looks like you actually don't need to purchase the Golden Legends Pass if you're lucky. That is interesting. But this, I believe it's at the same time as the race. So now you got to pick. Like, do you prioritize the race? Do you prioritize the Hacksmith? What are you going to do? But it looks like if SocialPoint does this moving forward, it looks like there is going to be a way for players to not have to purchase the pass and still potentially get the Golden Legends Pass monster, which now just only leaves the exclusive monster behind the paywall. And speaking of the exclusive monster, we have Roddy. Alright, Roddy, let's see. Deals moderate thunder damage, removes 50% of stamina from one enemy. This is a spammable skill. I mean, I don't know what the stamina cost is, but it has no cooldown, so removes 50% of stamina. Deals low thunder damage and applies stamina leak. Also spammable. Interesting thing about this skill is I can only imagine this monster is going to hold a staff relic. So a pump seed staff, maybe the masher staff. So you could potentially use this to drain additional stamina. This monster also strikes me as someone that would have a revival essence, by the way. But again, we'll see. Blackout removes 100% of stamina, so 100% stamina drain. Overhead Conductors removes 50% of stamina from all enemies and applies shock. It looks like SocialPoint is really pushing the shock on the enemy, on monsters. Probably because they release so many extra turners, right? The meta, Vampire Astral, Lindworm, Lupin, Master Masher, like a lot of turn transfer monsters. Even the really strong attackers, Dagiel, Think Big, extra turn, then deals damage. Yeah, so I can see why they're trying to shock everyone. So once again, if this monster does have a cane, a staff relic, which I imagine he will, this could essentially become 100% stamina drain. Let's see what else we have. Deals moderate thunder damage, activates all cooldowns and stamina leak. So single CDA. So we have stamina drain and CDA. Deals low thunder damage, shock and stamina leak to all enemies. There's that shock again. Removes 100% of stamina and immediate extra turn. That's pretty cool. So you can, like, single target, stamina's gone, give yourself an extra turn. So even like against a Hardy, you'd be able to drain his stamina. That way, no, actually Hardy has the stamina regen, so he'd still recover stamina and attack you. But you can pull off some combos like that. Deals low thunder damage, activates all cooldowns. So we have an AoE CDA, so we have another CDA monster. So now we have Henrich, now we have Backwards Sabora. I'm probably forgetting someone else. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kodama, right? We have Kodama, now we have this monster as well. So, let's see, we have the extra turn stamina drain, 100%. We have this 100% stamina drain. So we have two 100% stamina drain skills. We have a single CDA, and then we have an AoE CDA. And then you also have some stamina leaking and shock. And again, considering the relics, I imagine will be a staff relic and most likely a revival. I don't know. I just see this monster holding essence. I don't know. He doesn't look crazy to me. I definitely like the mechanics. He doesn't seem crazy to me. And again, in the current PvP meta, with Megatons, this monster wouldn't be able to do anything, right? Against a Megaton monster, you'd 100% stamina drain the Megaton monster, then you'd CDA the Megaton monster, but that's pretty much all you got. If you take away Megatons, then this monster is pretty formidable, because you can 100% stamina drain someone, and then CDA everyone, right? That's pretty cool. Or you can 50% stamina drain, and if you have a relic that can do the rest, then that becomes 100% stamina drain, and then next turn you can CDA. So, he's good. I don't think he's crazy or anything, though. Let's see, Steam Wrath. Alright, this is the race monster. Let's see if the marathon is worth it. Deals moderate magic damage, applies vulnerable to one enemy. Deals low magic damage. So far, no good. Although, I'm calling it, he looked like an attacker because of the vulnerable. Deals low magic damage, applies vulnerable to all enemies. Kind of giving me some Hardy vibes. Deals moderate metal damage to all enemies, applies daze to all enemies. Applies double damage and torch immunity to itself. Applies damage boost and gives 1 extra turn to itself. Alright. Deals very low magic damage to one enemy. Applies vulnerable to one enemy. Gives 1 extra turn. Oh! We have another attacker. Another, like, Spitfire, Thunder Kong, Vampiriastro. Alright. And deals low magic damage to one enemy. Gives 1 extra turn to itself. See? It's no wonder SocialPoint is releasing all these shock monsters. Okay, so... I mean, all the attacks are weak, from what I can tell. So it definitely gives me vibes of the Spitfire Thunder Kong, but this monster might actually be better because, let me see, because I don't care for the double damage. I've never cared for single buff skills like that unless they give an extra turn. So damage boost is definitely the way to go. So you can give yourself a damage boost, which I imagine will last 2 turns, maybe 3 turns, most likely 2 turns. So that makes you 50% stronger, your attacks. And then you can vulnerable an enemy monster, right? So now you have a damage boost and the enemy monster is vulnerable. You give yourself an extra turn, and then you'd probably do a strong AoE skill. So we're looking at, what's your strongest? The moderate metal AoE. You'd follow up with Wrench Wrecker. And then, for example, this is a bomb beta killer, right? Because metal is elemental advantage against light. So this is a bomb beta killer right here. If this attack, because bomb beta will absorb 3 times the damage, you can give yourself a damage boost and vulnerable. Sometimes maybe just vulnerable and then the metal damage will be enough. Sometimes you will have to do the damage boost and then the vulnerable. Like, yeah, this is the way I'm seeing this monster. And then what is 15 horsepower? That's probably going to deal 15 damage. Deals low magic damage. Oh my gosh, this is very low. But yeah, low magic damage gives 1 extra turn. It's all going to depend on the cooldown. What if it's like 2 turn cooldown, 2 turn cooldown, 3 turn cooldown or something? But most likely this monster is going to cycle 4 attacks. The ultimate deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, applies vulnerable and damage boost, gives 1 extra turn. Applies vulnerable to itself. Deals moderate magic damage and applies vulnerable and damage boost to itself. Hopefully it applies vulnerable to all enemy monsters and damage boost to itself. So you alt, it's interesting. On paper this monster doesn't look good, but, and it's also going to depend on the relics. I doubt this monster is going to be holding like a staff. Not a staff. I doubt this monster is going to be holding like a banner like Vampiriastro, right? Vampiriastro is an amazing attacker, but she has a lot more utility because she can remove positive effects. She can do a lot more. She can blind the enemy. She can apply dots on the enemy. Whereas this monster, it's just pure damage output. So again, it's more of a Thunder Kong than anything. It's ultimately going to come down to the stats and the trait on this monster. Like what if this monster starts off with a damage boost already? But I guess you don't need it since you have a self-damage boost. I'm iffy on the monster right now. I think we're going to have to wait and see until we get all the stats out and the trait out, and then we'll have more information on this monster, the relic slots especially. But right now, it looks like an okay extra turner attacker. Yeah, very low. Man, that's going to be 10 damage. This is probably going to be 15 damage. And this doesn't deal damage. So you're literally left running... You're left running these 3 skills and... this one, so you wouldn't run the double damage torture immunity, you wouldn't run the AoE vulnerable, I don't think you need that, you wouldn't run this, and you wouldn't run this. This is probably going to be 0 cooldown, 0 stamina. Okay, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So, with that being said, let me know what you guys think about the 2 monsters, Roddy and Steamwrath, in the comments below. Are you excited about the new monster? Did you miss out on feeding Vampiriastro and you're like, well, this is a close enough. It's nowhere near the league of Vampiriastro because she can actually remove positive effects. But any and all thoughts, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think this monster is going to have in terms of a trait, in terms of relics? Any and all thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much, and remember to subscribe.